Hey everybody, this is Marcy Bullock with part three of Strengths. So hopefully you have gone to my YouTube channel, Marcy Bullock, and you have watched part one and two. Just search that on YouTube. In addition, I'm adding on some new things today that I just learned about strengths. If you haven't yet, make sure you bookmark the website ncsu.gallup.com. Once you get to that site, you can link up your strengths with an existing Gallup account, or you can log in and take it for the first time. Now, whenever you go back to this site, it's going to remind you of your top five strengths. And I want to point out to you some really great reports that are on this site. So, first of all, here are my top five. You may share some of these with me: woo, strategic, communication, empathy, and activator. Now, notice under each of these words, there is another word, such as influencing. It's under communication and it's under activator. And then under empathy, the word relationship building. So there is a separate leadership domain category that all 34 strengths are divided into. And there are actually four of those categories. So you see two of them here: relationship building and an influencing. And the third one is strategic thinking. And the fourth one is executing. So whenever you see that word underneath, you might count up the number of your top five that are in each of those four headings. And you can just Google leadership domains, influencing, relationship building, strategic thinking, whatever yours is, to learn more about that heading. Because if you have multiple strengths in one, it shows you that that's really an important part of who you are. Plus, if you forget your top five, you can at least remember that one leadership domain. In addition, there is a Learn More button on this page, which shows you a video that you can watch, and it also gives you more detail about that particular strength. This is a language I want you to get really familiar and comfortable with. Maybe read it over and see what resonates the most with you. And as you read through it, you might even say, oh, yes, that is me 100%. I have this creative anticipation and imagination and persistence. Maybe there's some things that you see in there that you don't agree with, and you just put them aside. This can help you a lot in the career development process, because in your job interviews for internships and co ops and your first job out of college, you're going to want to be able to explain what differentiates you. And there's a 1 in 33 million chance someone would have the same top five strengths in the same order as you. So it's a very big factor that shows how you stand apart. So you want to read those Learn Mores, watch the video. You might be wondering, what would be the chances of someone having my top five just in a different order? That's 1 in 20,000. So it still makes you very unique. I think it's great to focus on where your shoulders are broadest when you think about strengths, so you can see the power and edge. For me, woo brings me energy in social situations. You might have restorative, which is actually really low on my list. So I have envy of restorative. And that is someone I would love to have on my team because they can solve problems. So in your interview, don't be afraid to brag about yourself, to talk about all five of these and how they can help you to be the best possible employee. They're all so unique and special. There's also some great reports when you go to your main page. You can see over here that you can pull up actual reports, and you can pull up any kind of action plan that you would like. You can create one here. So I want to remind you that this site is very rich. Go back to ncsu.gallup.com. You can even download on your phone the app if you'd like to do that. And then you can share strengths with your colleagues and your peers. And if you forget your login, your phone will remember it, and you can see what everyone on your team has as far as strengths goes. Now, as we're thinking about the job search, one of the really big things is your resume. I mentioned how in the interview you want to tell stories about your strengths. Well, before you get the interview, you have to actually get invited based on this resume. So I pulled up Jacqueline here, and what I've done is highlighted a few things that she has. She has her achiever and her restorative. And in each of these boxes, there is a definition. So, what does an achiever do? Many of you have it. You look for ways to advance and excel. So, this person is getting a master's degree. So, that's a wonderful piece of evidence. For restorative, this person creatively promotes the company and applies talents to a project. So, arranging the orchestrated 12 trunk shows is an example of that. In addition, restorative is problem solving and creating new programs, which is designing the code for the students. In each of these boxes, there's a definition of the strength and then a proof on the action verb phrase that this candidate possesses that strength. Strategic is a great one, making logical decisions, deadline oriented, accomplishing tasks. So there are three different strategic boxes here. And in each one of the bullet point action phrases, this particular strength is proven with actual evidence with a strong action verb. So I really wanted you to take a look at that as I scroll down to kind of see the top five over and over again. They are emphasized. Activator is taking action. And in this case, this person implemented a budget. That's an example of taking action. So your resume obviously wouldn't have these boxes in color on the side, but you yourself would know exactly what those boxes were. And whenever you get your resume critiqued, you might want to talk with your career coach about how to incorporate your strengths. The final thing I want to show you in this part three video, and again, make sure to watch part one and two on YouTube, is how during COVID you can adapt and pivot with your strengths. So right now I've pulled up Learner. And on these bullet points from Crystal Clark, and feel free to look at this website later. I've tweeted it on Wolfpack Career because I really love this article. It shows you, because you have to be social distance, how can you pivot? So this person who's a learner, maybe they can't be with people. They're remembering their three W's, waiting, washing their hands, wearing their mask. Well, that's hard on all of us. We're all getting fatigued from it. So here are some great strategies for a learner on what you might want to do. Let me make this just a little bit bigger so you can see that for the learner. And as we scroll down, we can see every single strength here. So next we have discipline. So if you're working from home, you want to create routines, absolutely, because that's such an important part of who you are. I won't be able to show you all of these, but I'm just going to point out a few in this video, and then you can go back to this article. Relator, that's going to be really hard on you because you love being around other people. So you want to invest in having deep conversations with whoever you're with at the time. Maybe that means doing it in two dimension at this point due to our pandemic. And then the last one I'll show you is activator. That's actually in my top five. I'm all about action. So what you get done energizes you. You have to have your checklist and feel like you're getting something done every single day. So go back to that article, check that out, and enjoy this opportunity to really thrive with your strengths.